Hey, how's it going guys? I'm Ryuz and welcome back to my channel. I hope you are doing well. For this week deck showcase, I'm going to show you a deck that I was supposed to test on last week's stream but didn't have enough time because of certain incidents. But before that, we have some cards adjustments, and you know how it is when they push out adjustment this early. It's going to be spicy. First up, we have some nerfs, and to no one's surprise, Orochi Divine Shadow got nerfed. It is now 5 health, making it easier to snipe. Next is Ichijo or Sparrow Evolve, losing 1 attack. I don't think this will affect him too much because +3 is still a decently high stats boost. And now here's the kicker. Yotohime SP basic ability, it is now once per duel instead of once per turn. I mean, yeah, that ability was too good, but once per duel really hinders her flexibility as an attacker. And if that wasn't enough, they also nerfed her speed form, reducing the base health to 6. It's not much, but for an attacker like her, she needs every health that she has. Such a shame, but I guess it's necessary. Next is Aoandon SP Lantern's Flame. When you play a card after this field is active, it will not add a stack to her basic skill. This is a simple nerf, but really effective in slowing her down. Koroka also got nerfed. His revive card loses the fast. I mean, we still have a lot of ways to revive him, so it doesn't hurt him too much. And that's about it for the card adjustment. I don't want to take too long because I don't have time today. So let's jump into the deck rundown, shall we? This is one of the most aggressive deck in the current meta. It is like last week's Orochi deck, but it needs a little bit more setup. But once it is ready to go, you can very easily and very consistently deal at least 6 to 15 damage each turn. The key card for this build is Kosodenote Inseparable Threads. This card will fire off random projectile each time your Shigemi attack. This includes using combat cards, not just assault. And who is the Shigemi that can do multiple attack in one turn? Yep, that is right, Furi. We are using Furi as our main attacker, and we are also bringing Mitsume. Why? Because he has dual broom style. It will let him attack 5 times with damage immunity, and that will fire off 5 times of Kosodenote's form ability. And Karasu Tengu here acts as our emergency blocker and extra attack using his Blade of Justice. He can also slowly reduce opponent's Shigami's health using his level 2 form. And once their health is low enough, it will be much easier for Kosodenote to get rid of them. And with Blade of Justice, you can take advantage of Mitsume's relatively high stats and hit them harder. And here is the card priority list. For high priority, you definitely want Inseparable Threads because that is our win condition for this deck. It will reward you for playing aggressively. Then we have Needle and Threads. It will help you to keep your opponent's main engine down as long as you can damage them with Kosodenote. But you only want to use this on Shigami that you think would be good enough to stay dead, like Dodomeki or Orochi. Then we have Dual Broom Style. It synergizes really well with Kosodenote form, so try holding onto it until the form is active, or you can just use it to clear the combat zone. Next is Thunderfire Shell. It is our hardest hitting combat card. On its own, it can deal 10 damage, and if you have Kosodenote form, that's already 14 damage straight to the face. For the situational choice, this is more for utility and control. Threading is a decent snipe card. This becomes a 5 damage type if you already stick the SSR on your opponent's Shigami. Then we have Peaceful Nekomataya. It's a great card to tank opponent attack while also keeping your Mitsume alive to complete his quest. Then we have Deadly Flock. It's another card that we can use to tank attacks while also dealing 1 AoE at the end phase. And then we have Leap. Leap is a good card for clearing a low health combat zone while also getting a 3 cheeky damage. And for finisher, we actually have a lot. Kosodenote Evolve is pretty much game ender because that 1 damage passive turns into 2 damage, and that can very easily end games. And on activation, this will deal 4 damage to your opponent. Then we have Blade of Justice is another finisher that we can use. Mostly you want to use this when your Mitsume is on the combat zone because he is the only one that has decently high stat. Leap and Dual Broom Style is also your finishing option. And that's about it for the deck rundown. As for the SSR ratio, If you want to make it cheaper, you can actually take off Mitsume's SSR because while it is powerful, our games doesn't usually last that long, so it rarely comes up. And for Kosodenote SSR, one is actually enough, but I'm bringing two for consistency. This deck is so much fun, especially if you're like me that likes to see multiple attacks in one turn. I love to see the multiple attack with Kosodenote form effect activating at the same time. Also, this deck definitely needs time to get used to because you will need to take gambles to maximize the damage for this deck. Now that's out of the way, let's move on with the replays. Our first matchup is up against Orochi deck. This match was after the nerf, so people are trying out builds that can compensate for Yotohime and Koroka's nerf. This guy came up with Suzuhime and Shiranui. In theory, it's not a bad choice, but that Suzuhime is definitely a wrong one because she is very difficult to turn into a snake. And with Orochi, the more snake you have, the better. As for our hand, it's good that we have a lot of Fury card because we can aggro a lot, but not getting Kosodenote level 2 form is going to drop our power a little. On their turn, as we predicted, they will just continue to attack with Koroka and pass. This time their Orochi is already level up, so it will turn into a snake if we kill it. On our turn, we kill it with Karasu Tengu. That completes our quest. Then we get a very annoying quest, so we just complete it with quest organization and pass. Next turn, they will probably kill our Karasu Tengu with the snake because they have a rally buff. On their turn, as I expected, they attack with the Koroka snake, killing our Karasu. Then activate Suzume Field, healing 1 point and pass. On our turn, we got a double level up, so we level up Mitsume because we drew his revive form. We complete the quest first, then we kill the snake with Mitsume and put a form on him and pass. Even if they attack with Suzume, it will be very difficult to get over Mitsume's stats. On their turn, they will evolve Koroka, instantly reviving him, and they'll attack with Koroka again and pass. This is why I don't like Suzuhime in Orochi deck. You become afraid of using her to attack. On our turn, we drew our win condition, so we level up Kosodenote, then we activate Needle and Threads on Orochi. This way we can easily kill their deck main power, and this will be made very efficient using her level 2 form. On their turn, they will evolve Shiranui, then Song of Freedom on Koroka. That will deal 7 damage straight to our face, and they will pass. On our turn, our Mitsume has exactly 5 attack, so we use him to clear the way, then put Deadly Flock on Karasu, and then we move him to the combat zone with Wind Chase and pass. It doesn't matter if we deal 1 damage AoE because they still have the Suzuhime field. On their turn, they will activate Shake Bell that will recover Suzuhime health, then they attack 1 more time to get rid of our Karasu Tengu and pass. I did not expect someone actually bringing that combat card. On our turn, we are going to take a little gamble. We activate Leap. This will trigger Kosodenote form that will hit their Suzuhime, just enough for our clone to clear the combat zone. I want to complete Mitsume's quest, but we need to push damage while we can, so we activate Thunderfire Shell. That will get us another 2 attack. Kosodenote form always triggers while Fury attack, so in total this turn we dealt 15 damage. Pretty insane, right? On their turn, they will activate Koroka's field that will revive him, recover health, and because they landed luck check, they get an extra orb. Then they hunt our Kosodenote with Koroka, but before she died, she deals 3 damage to Orochi and 2 damage to their life. And because of that combat card, Koroka only has 1 health left. This will be very easy. On our turn, we activate our last leap. This will clear the way without killing our Fury. We will have to take the projectile, but once the zone is clear, we can punch with Mitsume dealing 5 damage and pass. On their turn, they will evolve Orochi, then activate Song of Starfire. But that will trigger Orochi's evolve and ruin their plan, so they have to pass. Thank you Orochi Aggro for securing our win. On our turn, we can just use Mitsume to clear the way, then activate Way of Justice to finish them off. And for our second match, we are up against a Luminaire player using this deck. My best guess is this is a burst deck that stalls until Shishio reach level 3 to Antler Gore us, and while they wait, they deal piercing damage with Susanoo. I think that is their overall plan. For this match, our hand is looking pretty much perfect. If you lose with this hand, you need to practice more, because this is the perfect hand. You cannot get better than this hand. On their turn, they will activate Book of Tales, then they activate the 1 AoE damage. Thankfully, none of our Kishigami are alive yet, so after that, they attack us again with Shishio and pass. At the start of our turn, we might as well pick the projectile 4 to damage their Shigami and clearing the zone. The combat zone is empty, so we level up Fury and assault with him and follow up with Shuriken to further damage them, dealing a total of 10 damage. Even if they healed next turn, that damage will still help us in the long run. On their turn, they will heal and the field will explode. They will attack with main Reiki and pass. That probably means they either want to focus on Susanoo or they don't have main Reiki SSR form. So on our turn, we are just going to put the winning form on our Kosodenote, then assault with Karasengu. His skill will clear the way, and with that we have the blocker. On their turn, they will level up Shishio and evolve him, that will instantly revive him, and they attack and pass. A 6 health blocker is actually pretty tough for us to break. On our turn, we will put Deadly Flock on Karasu, complete Mitsume's quest, then just assault with him. This will deal 3 damage from Karasu and 1 from Kosodenote. At the end phase, the form will activate and kill their Shishio again. Their Shigami health is getting lower and lower, which will be very easy for us to clear with Karasengu's form. On their turn, they will revive Shishio by putting a form on him, then assault. The gods of Shigami sent us an answer to this predicament. We top deck the Spicy card. We activate Dual Broom style, and now you have to watch the carnage that happens. After that, we complete the quest and we continue our assault with Blade of Justice. Kosodenote's skill clears the way and we dealt a total of 14 damage and cleared all of their Shigami. So of course, the opponent will surrender. Well, that's all for today's video. I certainly hope you enjoyed it. Anyway, if you want to support my channel, I have Patreon and Ko-Fi links down below. And as usual, if you have any kind of feedback, leave it down in the comments and see you on the next video. Bye.